my mo, me, my mo. Get live, get woke, get loud, get broke. Welcome to the YouTube channel on the Isle of Man. Right. Good morning, everyone. A little before 8 o'clock on the Tuesday. Yesterday, the practices were cancelled. It was warm, it was wet, and we had fog. It just was not raceable. So today, the forecast is dry, but it's still a bit soggy, as you'll see when we get up there. I spotted it further down in Ramsey. The mountain's a bit covered. But I thought, one of my earliest videos was from Manx Grand Prix, my first commute. I've since moved house, and there's a couple of changes on the mountain. As you'll see by the signs there, the sign that was there, the sign in Ramsey, and the one as we come around this corner there, it's still two-way. They're very clear about it being two-way, but it's not as usual. So of course you'll see there 50-mile-an-hour signs and no cyclists on the mountain. Cyclists on the mountain was the same last year, but I can't quite remember whether they had the 50 limits. Now if you know the mountain from being one way, yeah, it's 50 all the way up here past Gooseneck, and then you get the unrestricted zones. But last year when it was two-way, I can't quite remember whether those 50s were in place. A couple of weeks ago, this is all unrestricted, you could just run for it. I'm guessing with the extra traffic they want to sort of calm everything down. If you don't know the road, Waterworks can catch you out. And it seems that my mirror has got slack again. Excellent. Back with the OE ones and back having problems. So we'll go up and have a venture, because the one thing that you just can't really see from down there is how fast and patchy this fog is. It's really, really bizarre. Came over yesterday just from work in the car, and veranda was like this. It was clear, you know, the edges were a bit grey and horrible, and you get around to a couple of corners and it was 2 white lines visibility. That was all, which is not very spicy. So as we come over here, you'll see it. There will be a point where I will just hit a wall of fog, and that is the Nannan's Cloak for you. It's the Isle of Man. A small little place. You'd think, oh well, one bit of weather would, you know, get everywhere. No, it can be beautiful in Ramsey and chucking it down in Douglas, and then over in Peel you've got some wind or something. It's proper odd. Microclimates everywhere. And that mirror is really annoying. But hopefully we should have a bit of clear visibility to sort of come round and pass a few cars here, and go and try and capture this fog. If you haven't already, head over to the Facebook page, because there's a couple of videos up there. Quick little easy updates happen on that page. And we got line of sight. To accept that mirror is just going to flap in on me, isn't it? Alright, so here we go. You can see the fog rolling out over down the mile. It's not ideal, but it just goes to show. You can see sunshine down there. It's going to be dry all day, but probably still a bit foggy, which is not what we want. I imagine it will be as we sort of come round into, especially the bungalow seems to capture it a lot. You just get to bungalow zones and bam, wall of fog. key on that mirror, I think. So there's also changes at the bottom end that we'll see. The Craig Street is 60 mile an hour, but I believe if you're over at TT, it's from where the 40 mile an hour was, right the way down to Hilbury. And there we go, we're in the fog. It just sort of sneaks up, fog town. But anyway, as we come down here towards the Craig, that's where we're hitting the 60. Everything else, I believe, is okay, unrestricted, as long as you're not on pedals. No cyclists on the mountain. I mean, it's just for safety's sake, really. You can start comparing the mountain to a motorway. It's just faster and twistier. Places like the Nürburgring, they don't let cyclists on, but you know, they have their rights and vocalize them very much. I definitely think I should have put the pin lock in, because I'm fogging up quite hard. But there's a very high chance, as we come through, sort of, the bungalow always catches the fog, and I think it'll be here down to Windy. Then Windy, it clears off, and by the time you get down to 33rd and Kate's, it just snaps, drops out of nowhere, and you know, it's like it couldn't be bothered travelling anymore. But we just don't know till we get there. This is the joys of Manannan's Cloak, because it could be this thing right down at sea level in Douglas. You could be down the promenade and not see anything. You just wouldn't know until we get there. Perhaps we shall take a little guess. What do you reckon? When we get through down to the other side of the mountain, are we going to be able to see those 60 signs? You saw what it was like in Ramsey. It was clearing on the climb up past Waterworks. But this is some pea soup type business. And I need some wipers on my visor. I've always found it's a bit of a struggle, not necessarily riding in the wet, but riding in the wet and fog slowly. You lose that airflow to your helmet and it just goes wrong. I was surprised by the ventilation in the RI. It's excellent in every way except for trying to record, because, well, as you probably hear now, we've got a lot of wind noise. Good for keeping your head cool, not for trying to keep the noise off the microphone. But once you get up to speeds, I mean, if it wasn't this foggy, it was just the dampness, you could run down here at double this speed and not really have a problem with fog. It just sort of ventilates out and through. Whereas now, I'm getting a little bit of fog building up. Not so much because I've got the visor lock cracked, but the water droplets just aren't running off the visor, they're just sitting there. And then the fog going slow on a road you're used to going fast on, you lose track of where you are. It's not good. As you can see, there's no change to Brandywell. They haven't done anything. They just put some slippery signs up for a bit. Maybe it was a spill, I don't know. There was a few cars went off and talks of reworks, but didn't happen. Maybe they couldn't get it done fast enough. Maybe they didn't think it needed doing. Too many maybes, too many crashes, not enough competent people on the road. But you know, that's just my opinion. So we're coming up here. This has got to be windy. I've only done the mountain slower than this once, and that was actually just before Grand Prix, when we were stuck behind tractors and wagons before the roadworks happened, and I did a maximum of 37 mile an hour the whole way over. It was bizarre. You really just don't get that. The only time I've had a weirder mountain run was my first year driving, when it went one way and I was tired It was about 3 in the morning, and I thought, I'm not going to try and push it here, you know, I don't really know the road, it's dark, I'm tired, no. So from Ramsey, nothing on the road. I just spent the whole time in the other lane. It was great. Didn't see any other vehicle on the road, nothing caught up, never caught anything up, didn't see anything all the way down to Douglas. I think it was like a Thursday in practice week or something, and it was so calm and surreal. It's weird, I sort of suppose I take it for granted riding on this road so often, well now at least twice a day, and it's just a completely different beast. It doesn't stop me getting excited by it. It's still an excellent strip of tarmac, and when you get to open up the ponies and run for it, oh, you don't want to be anywhere else. The only other bizarre mountain trip I've had was when they closed the mountain for, I think it was 2 weeks. They just shut it all down for lots of roadworks, just in the middle of summer, nowhere near any of the biking events, and we went out as having a few drinks at a mate's on the Saturday, and on the Sunday it was a fantastic day, and we decided, you know what, let's go walk up the mountain. And we just went and had a drink at Gooseneck, and it was almost, you know, a post-apocalyptic vibe, because there was no sign of humans anywhere besides the small little group of us. Now I'm guessing by the water droplets forming on my visor that the rain's picking up a little bit. I can't really feel anything, it's just that kind of light mist, get everything soggy sort of thing. We'll come down here, we're at Keppelgate. Yes. Run back in for the double whites, and we go around the right. Ooh, there it is. Not double whites though, is it? It's just double going this way. Silly me. Silly me. It's weird the little details you sort of learn on the road, and I have tried doing a video for how to overtake on the mountain, and it's difficult getting up to the sort of paces, taking the gaps and being able to be heard on the microphone, because there's lots of places where you can be looking ahead. For example, as we come down here now, we've got double whites until just before the crest drops down from the creg, and you can't see in the crest, you have to wait till you see that anyway, but the whole time you watch out over there and you can see vehicles coming all the way up to the creg corner. You can watch down for Creg Back Road. Hey, it is what it is. Now we're coming down here, there are 60 signs somewhere in the fog. It's obviously travelled right the way down, so we're probably going to see this in Douglas. And there they are, 60 mile an hour for the Creg right down to Hilbury. Outside of biking events, it's unrestricted all the way. Advisory max 30 sign. To be honest, you can do this corner at about 70, but you know, obviously that is breaking the 60, and you, whoa, what is this? Oh. Oh, good morning.
Good morning. Is that on?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, ticket for having a tiny plate. Handy dandy. Okay, well that's a good way to start my first bike commute with Manx Grand Prix. Fog and a £60 fine. Now he just said to me if I'd gone past he wouldn't have been able to clock me reg, but it goes to show how the police work on the mountain, because there really isn't a way off. The officer at Brandywell spotted me, said he couldn't read the reg, so you know, come down. I'd have been pulled in by the guy at the Creg, because radios are a thing. So new reg for me today, £60 fine. What a party, big old party poo. morning, officer. So anyway, that's the mountain fog. This is what we had yesterday, except it was alright lower down. This is obviously followed right down into Douglas. And hopefully a dry day. This is going to clear. It's given dry and cloudy, so we don't know whether it's going to trap in, but the rest of the forecast for the week is not good. So fingers crossed we'll get practices tonight, because the next 2 days definitely aren't looking good, and then it's going to clear up for race week and we're going to have a cracking one. If you haven't already, go over to the Facebook page. Like I said before, there's little updates on there. Give it a like and a follow. I've been live streaming. I plan to keep on live streaming where I'm watching, and that will happen on the Facebook page, because I can't quite figure out how to do it on YouTube. It's just an easier platform to me go over on for the little updates. So in between videos, if you want to keep up with what's going on the channel, on the Isle of Man, with this knob on a bike, that's where you need to be. Just Facebook, Unrestricted Isle. As usual, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, give us a like, comment down below. What do you think about that 50 limit? As an interesting one. 50 limit from the hairpin up past Gooseneck. Do you think that's sensible? There's enough people coming off anyway. Do you think that's Darwinism? You know, let them crack on. You should be able to go faster if you're not a Hmong. Or is it down to people not knowing the road? You know, if you've only seen videos, waterworks sneaks up. Hey. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna get on down through Foggy Douglas, be a bit late for work, and order a new reg plate. Goodbye.